something I didn't like on the program is that they just showed Cody sitting in the crowd. And I asked myself when I watched it, would they have done that with Hogan in 88? No. Would they have done that with Austin in 98? No. Would they have done that with Cena in 08? No. And I understand that show wasn't really for us hardcore week in, week out wrestling consumers. It's not for the internet wrestling community. It's for the masses. So it is a huge deal to the masses to say, hey, The Rock is back in WWE and he's live and it's on Netflix right now. And having one of the biggest stars in the world give the rub, if you will, to Cody Rhodes, to an audience that's not just a hardcore wrestling fan. I guess I get it, but it felt weird to me that we wouldn't have the big entrance and the crowd singing along and the whole pyro and all that for Cody on the first show. I thought that was interesting and not the way they would have done it for any other top guy in history, maybe. Now, of course, as you and I are recording, it's Monday, so we'll see what happens tonight. But were you sort of shocked by that they didn't have the big Cody entrance on the program at all?
Now, Conrad, I think you know me well enough, don't you?
Yeah, I'm just wanting you to rant on it too, I guess.
Conrad, here's exactly my immediate. Wait, did I text you when because no, that was I watched it anyway. Didn't watch it live. Conrad, I'll just say this. If it looks like a duck and walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, when it poops, you don't have to taste it to find out if it's a duck. Do you not? Conrad.
No, sir.
In the crowd?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
You liked it as much as I did.
What? Tell me. Okay. Now I want to make sure I'm clear that I'm not being, I'm not being a Cody crybaby here. I'm talking about
how to position a top guy. They would have done that with Lawler.
Wait, did you say top guy or did you say
the top guy?
World champion.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the top guy. He's the biggest merch mover last year. He was, I don't know. It just.
Do you think under any circumstance they would have had Roman Reigns in the crowd waving?
Not a chance.
That
would they have done that for The Rock? Why didn't he just sit next to the Netflix executives in the front row and wave?
To me, the litmus test is that, and that's
Dwayne's going to do what Dwayne wants to do. I don't care what the org chart says. He's at the top. Do you disagree?
Oh, I guess my simple question is, does Ari call him Dwayne or Mr. Johnson?
Does he tell Ari what to do or does Ari tell him what to do?
Oh, shut the front door.
I'm just asking a question.
Have you ever heard a manager tell the client the
client?
Yeah, not the client. What does JR call him? 10%er?
Oh, the blue chipper?
He calls him, he's a 10%er, an agent.
Oh, I got you.
He calls them 10%ers. He's a good old 10%er. I don't know. I don't think the 10%er ever tells the 90%er nothing.
Hey, speaking of the playoffs this past weekend, I ran into a little smack talker running around backstage in AEW Dynamite in Clarksville. He couldn't wait to come and tell me Alabama lost, Alabama lost, Alabama lost, Alabama lost, and Ohio State's going to win it all.
He hit you with that right out of the gate, didn't he?
As soon as I saw him, hey, Conrad, Alabama lost, Alabama lost, Alabama lost, Alabama lost. Ohio State's going to win it all. And I said, okay, Cody, I appreciate that, but enjoy it while you got it because your playoff hopes and dreams with the Steelers, they come to an end this weekend. And he said, well, there's no chance. And I said, would you like to make a bet, Cody? Here's what the bet will be, Cody. If my Ravens, I'm not really a Ravens fan, but for the purposes of that day, I was. Yep. Shout out to Jimmy's Famous Seafood and Jeff Jones. The Ravens are going to just dog walk the Steelers. And when they do, your little narrow tail is going to have to walk around backstage Huntsville all day in one of Jeff Jones' Ravens jerseys. But if the Steelers win, I'll walk around backstage in Huntsville with a Steelers jersey looking like a busted can of biscuits. And to my surprise, or actually the surprise of no one, the Ravens dominated. And now I can't even get I haven't even heard from Cody. I'm just looking for a wellness check here, Jeff. Is Cody okay? Because he's ignored all my messages. He's ignored my DMs, my phone calls, my text messages. Can I get a smoke signal? Is Cody okay?
First, back to our DraftKings. Lamar, Derrick Henry, Patrick Mahomes, take the over on everything. They are going to roll through these playoffs. I can't wait to see that in the AFC Championship. But Conrad, can I tell you about Coaster?
Please do.
I don't know if you're going to like this news.
Uh-oh.
That game was the 7 o'clock game.
Yes, sir. It's a late game.
Less than 12 hours after the final of that game. Ooh,
yep.
Yeah, maybe less than like 8 hours. We had projectile vomiting going on in the house.
Oh, no.
Conrad, I kid you not, he's in bed as we speak.
Wow.
I'm a big believer that, we've talked about this, the three-legged stool of health. You got to have physical, and you got to have, your physical body. Then you got to have, we'll call it the chemical part, which is what you eat, the fuel you put in, then the emotion side. If any one of those, you can't stand up a three-legged stool, you knock one leg out, doesn't stand up, it falls. Buddy, he took that loss, taking this loss really hard. He had it in his mind. And Conrad, I don't know if you watched the game, but there was a drive where they ran the ball 13 consecutive plays and scored. That ripped his heart out. And I said, Codes, it's going to be a long night, pal, but let's hang around. And Karen's, stay positive, stay positive, stay positive. And I looked over at her and I said, honey, when you can run the ball 13 times and score, it can be a really hard night. So my man Coaster is in bed as we speak. We were recording this on a Monday, so the Saturday night loft was tough. We're going to have to pick him up by his bootstraps, but he'll see you in Huntsville, and I'm sure he'll be recovered well enough, and we'll make him feel good about wearing a King Henry jersey. But Conrad, I'm not kidding you. He went in his room after the loss, and that's pretty much last we heard of him till Sunday morning when he was sick.
You think Mike Tomlin finally changes? I mean, what happens here? I mean, I know he won a Super Bowl, but it was 1 year removed from somebody else's team. And
look, and I'm a Titans guy, so I have a point of reference, and I have told a few people this. It can get worse. Trust me. Tomlin is not the issue. I mean, you want to hear all this. Who are you going to go out on the market that's better? And if you actually believe that the entire roster, I'm not going to rain all on Russell Wilson or Justin Fields or defensive or offensive line or whatever it may be, because I think the Steelers got some great players, but I don't think across the board 53-man roster. Saturday night was the exact result of what should have happened. The better team won. I don't think it's a Tomlin issue, and I certainly hope they don't make a change because, my gosh. I mean, Conrad, I know you don't follow the Titans, but do you know what they did last week?
What'd they do?
So the Tennessee Titans, and I'm a super positive, especially on my hometown team. But anyway, 2 years ago, we hired a general manager. That general manager hired a guy, and that guy became the assistant general manager. A year goes by, and that assistant general manager got promoted over the general manager. Okay, so there's kind of a flipping of org chart on who reports to who. Last week, we fired the general manager. Okay, so now that coach that was brought in by the GM and team, so now we kind of have a lame duck general manager because, look, he was brought in by the guy that just got fired, and now that coach has been in here. To say that the Titans front office is the best would be the understatement of year. So you Jets fans, Giants fans, Patriots, well, they've kind of at least cured their problem. Steelers and a bunch of other organizations. If you think you've got problems, look up Tennessee Titans over the last 2 years. That's problems.